The whole TikTok thing that's just happened. It was like one of these social media platforms is going to go away. There were two camps. Is this good for us? Is this bad for us? People have been talking about it a lot.
I believe that despite how many people are on Instagram and TikTok, the craving and the interest is actually going toward more of an analog interest. What I enjoy about it is,
why has everything become digital? Obviously, it's because it's instant. People feel like they need information really, really quickly. And that's based on expectations because
my dad passed away.
Yes.
And during that time, I had people who checked in frequently. I had people that did not check in frequently. I had people that didn't check in at all. And of those, people I'd never expected to hear from called. And that was interesting to me. I didn't think that receiving a phone call would actually impact me that way, but it did. Welcome to another episode of the Who Cares podcast. I'm Jay O'Brien.
I'm Jeff Jekyll.
And we've got a question mark at the end of our name now.
Well,
maybe it's been there the whole time.
I think it's been there the whole time, but you guys were part of a journey in figuring out whether it was going to be there at all. It's Who Cares, a podcast for the people who do. That's it. It's Who Cares. We're asking who out there cares. Yeah. Come listen. Right. This is a podcast for the people who do.
Yeah, what's up with the gym routine? What's going on there?
Well, I mean, I'm getting there once a week on Mondays.
Did you say once a week?
So here's how it was. Last year, the whole deal was it was wild. I was going 5 or 6 days a week, 5, sometimes a day on weekend, right? So 5 or 6 days.
Everyone knew that.
And it was great. I felt great, looking great. Kind of fell off because I wanted to do things that I enjoyed more. And I also was watching a whole bunch of content on YouTube that was basically telling me I was overdoing it or it wasn't necessary. Essentially, I could get the same results by probably doing 2 things a day with a full body workout and just go to failure. And I don't know if we'll ever be the people that talk about that. Probably not.
Not looking like this, no.
So what I want to do the second half of the year, the last few months, was I started to play tennis, started to do surfing, things that were like fun and burning a bunch of calories and really athletic, and I enjoyed. But what I didn't remember about surfing from years and years and years ago is because it was really good. Like there were waves for like a month and a half. The last 2 weeks, I'm not going once. Like there literally are no waves, right? And then tennis, I hurt my back once and I had to put together somebody to play with. So what I should be doing when there's, when those things aren't happening is going to the gym 2, 3, 4 times. But I haven't been. So in my head, it was going to be 1 day gym, 1 day surfing, 2 days tennis.
Now tell us a little less about what you don't do and a little bit more about what you do.
Do. Yeah, like poo.
So gym once a week because there's no waves and you hurt your back playing tennis, but you're still golfing and you're still staying active and moving the...
So we walk.
Stretching. You stretch at all?
I don't. I mean, I say it every single time I play tennis or do something and surf. I do it for like a few minutes before surfing, but certainly not enough. So I'm like, I don't know if this is like a normal thing and I haven't talked to anybody about it, but surfing is like, I feel like your groin is something that is in jeopardy every time that you surf. For whatever reason, if that's what's going to be sore afterwards, or if something's going to be sore afterwards after surfing, it's the groin. I don't know why. Like a leg gets pulled in one direction, overextends or something. Tennis, I should stretch before I don't. I still honestly believe I'm like 18 years old. Like when I do anything athletic, like just subconsciously, I'm like, I'm a kid. I don't need to stretch. I'm not doing anything. Yeah, let's spin this around on you. What are you doing? How's your gym? I've seen Orange Theory a couple times in the mornings, but otherwise.
It's meh. It's like Orange Theory is like a twice a weeker, maybe 3.
Yeah.
This week it'll be 2.
But your handgun skills and your wine knowledge,
that's really where I'm focusing my priorities nowadays is like, do less and drink more. Wine, that is.
Sure.
I'm just trying to not look terrible. That's kind of or just like I toe the line there. It's like, and I know exactly where that is. I take my shirt off. Oh, okay, that's enough. And then like things start going well. I go, well, let's party. And then it's never like, let's do better. Let's keep this going.
You're trying to keep yourself like right in this like specific level of mediocrity.
Yeah, it's like, it's not dad bod. It's like purgatory bod. Just kind of lingering.
So I've honestly never thought of this, but I will now, and I'll put it out there in front of a whole bunch of people for the first time.
Yeah, please do.
The most photos of you without a shirt on probably may happen when you become a dad, like that go out publicly, right? So like you're going to do skin to skin. You'll have a lot of situations where it's just like baby time and whatever. And
People are taking photos of that?
Yeah. I got photos of me with a kid, skin to skin, in the hospital and all this kind of stuff. All I'm saying is, would you like to, I'm giving you a little motivation. There's like 4 months till you become a dad. Almost exactly. 4 months, almost to the day. 4 months to the day.
The motivation will probably come once I see those photos.
Sure. It's so funny because you're such a planner. Like, you're such a but this is something where it's like, oh yeah, I could look really good in that. And I'll always remember, and you look back on these pictures of when the baby's like, you will start taking 10 times the number of pictures that you do right now. 10 times once there's kids.
So I'll take 10 photos.
Yes, exactly. Well, no, 10 times 0 is still 0, bro.
So this actually segues beautifully into our topic today.
You always do that. You always find a way, O'Brien.
Yeah, which is, I haven't been on the social medias for 5 years now. 5 years. No Instagram, no Facebook.
And I would say, as a result, maybe not entirely as a result, you're like one of the most like balanced mentally, like not unaffected.
Glad it appears that way.
Well, I mean, I know you got your shit, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. You're not like in it. You're not in the nonsense. I never hear from you. Like, did you hear whatever the fuck? It's like, just don't hear it from you.
Which, yeah, I love. I don't miss it at all. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that will probably become even more prominent in the years to come. That
societally.
Yeah, I think so. I think that people will gravitate more toward like escapism than they will wanting to be in the fold of everything. I think it'll be less about seeing people and having FOMO, and maybe having FOMO about not seeing what people are doing,
I sure hope so, because it's starting young.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there were a couple people that I knew in high school that I remember they just like gave no shits at all. Like they were not in the mix at all. Like you never knew what they were up to. Like, and it was almost like, there's this buddy I had, his name was James. And like, we would call him Tyler Durden because he didn't have a fucking cell phone, dude. He didn't have a cell phone. So you're like, the only way you're getting this guy is if you call his house and he's home. But he's never home because he's cool and he's like having fun with his buddies. And like, they've got phones. So why do I need a phone?
This is so wild because there's only like a handful of years between us. But like, you're describing, like, I think I had a cell phone like at the end of high school, and it was like because you're driving. I mean, I had a pager.
Yeah. Well, when you say handful, like how many hands?
It's just a hand.
No, I don't think so. You need at least two.
You don't in a month.
I mean,
in a month and 7 days, you only need one.
We're 6 years apart, so you definitely need two hands.
We're in a month and in a month and 8 days, 7 days, we'll be 5 years apart as the growth flies.
Yeah. So my point is, I think that maybe we'll start to see that introduced a little bit more and more, but like right now, it's funny. I'm about to become a parent, and there's a lot of opinions on the tablet. The screen time. Like, don't show your kids tablets and screens or whatever. And 100% understand that and whatever. There's camps there. There's balance, whatever. But what's so funny to me is the justification for it, because the parents are like, yeah, like we don't want them addicted to their devices. I'm like, you're addicted to your device.
For sure.
Like, don't be the
hypocrite.
Yeah. I mean, like and everyone is, so of course that will happen. And maybe that's what they're trying to protect them from. But my point is, like, we've become so reliant on digitized everything, like social. It could be, I mean, it's everything. Like if you text someone, like they didn't text me back. Like, well, when did you text them? Like an hour ago. Like, I mean, just rewind back, to our parents. Like if, imagine if just you went golfing and like, that was it. Like people who want to get a hold of you have to call your house, and Ash is like, oh, he's not home. He's out golfing.
This is like a dream for you.
It is, it's my biggest aspiration ever.
Yeah.
But here's actually how it's going to go down for me. So one day, like more and more things will slip apart. So like there'll be less and less ways to get a hold of me. And then what will end up happening is I will like return phone calls once every other week
Tim Ferriss?
from a payphone in Melvin's at Palm Springs.
Wait, like, wasn't this a thing? This was like a thing. Didn't Tim Ferriss 4 hour work week? There's part of
No,
it
that's way different. 4-hour work week is he responds to emails twice a day, once at 11 and once at 4.
Okay, but wasn't there something with phone calls? Or maybe you've said it before. You're like, I'm literally going to reply to phone calls once a week from a payphone.
Every other week from a payphone in a bathroom at Melvin's. That's the dream right there.
It's just
being less successful. But what this is leading me to in this topic is like the craving for analog in such a digital world. I believe that despite how many people are on Instagram and TikTok and how much we've relied on it, whatever, that now the craving and the interest is actually going toward more of an analog interest. You know, like, I mean, shit, you saw it like, 20 years ago with the vinyl record coming back and stuff. It's like, oh, what's interesting about that? Maybe it's the novelty, but for me, what I enjoy about it is like, it's stationary. You can't take it anywhere. You have to sit down and listen to a record. You can't like be jogging and listening to a record, It's very, I don't know, romantic. The same way I like my non-gas burning fireplace is like I have to chop wood. I have to do like the manual hard work because that's part of the romance to it.
Yeah, it's tactile, it's physical. I mean, there is like for sure a movement in generally. I mean, like so I don't know if this is pervasive across the whole country, but like with the whole hipster movement where we're in Southern California, it's like not as big as it probably was a few years ago.
Yeah.
But sure, there's like style to that and there's elements of like apparel and but a big part of it is like trying to go back to a time where I think were more immersed in everything you're doing. So like what you're saying about the record player, like have attention focused on one thing for an extended period of time is a novelty at this point because everything else is just zooming by us, right? Mm-hmm. So no, I totally feel that. It's pretty funny. And I wonder whether what sparked you to want to talk about this today is like the whole TikTok thing that's just happened. Because when it was like one of these things is going to go away, one of these social media platforms is going to go away, there were two camps. There are people that are being like, good. And I think like topic came up like in a big way of, is this good for us? Is this bad for us? People have been talking about it a lot, but it's been a pretty hot button issue. I think it's funny when like you make a decision to do these things. I don't do much social media. I do LinkedIn. I have Instagram, but it's mostly like post my kids and stuff. And we're obviously doing more of it now. But it's funny how quickly like people will make this decision. You see it all the time. I'm going to take a break from Instagram. You don't see it because you're not on there all the time. I'm going to take a break for a month. I'm going to take a break for a year. I'm going to take whatever it is. And I always think it's funny how like when I do that, or last year when I put the phone away in another room, instantly you're like a good guy and everyone else is bad, right? Like very, very quickly I'll see Ash in bed looking at her phone. I'm like, oh, how vapid are you? like you're looking at your phone before you go to bed, or first thing when you wake up in the morning, and it's 24 hours since I did
She's
it.
like, is that an Apple Watch?
Yeah. What's on you? It's like when parents are saying, I don't want my kids to look at the tablet, and they're literally just scrolling in the thing. Like, is that because they realize that they're doing that, or like, and they know that it's bad, and so they're trying to shield their kid from it? I don't think so. I think people are it's so normal now. It's just like there's no boredom. I guess that's a good way to think about it. It's like we're staving off boredom all the time because at any moment or a few moments that go by, I find myself doing that. I'm sitting in a waiting room yesterday for the dentist. And I'm just sitting there and I've done my thing. I got my paperwork turned in. I'm looking around. Maybe 45 seconds. And I didn't get a message or anything. I pulled out my phone. I'm like, well, I guess I can check stuff.
That's actually a great exercise. Like if you're ever in those situations, like to see, how long can you go without finding something digital to entertain you? And another great way to do that is when you go, I don't know how often you do this now that you're married and have kids, but like going to dinner by yourself. Like when I go to dinner by myself, which is kind of often, like at a restaurant. Yeah.
You don't even try me? I mean, I'm probably with the family.
There's no way you're coming. But to be in that moment and to not be like, oh, I'm going to like read something on my phone on the right and like use this crutch and like social arguments, like just sit there. Like, especially if you're sitting at the bar, like just look around, just like enjoy your own company, like your own quality time, Yeah.
I used to do that a lot, like a lot. I used to go to movies by myself. I mean, you're not going to like that. You're getting entertainment on a
You're getting entertainment. Yeah. I mean, still though, a lot of people wouldn't feel comfortable going to the movies by themselves or a concert by themselves.
I don't think I've ever been to a concert, but I used to eat a lot alone and go to
or traveling alone. That's another one. You know,
doing it next week.
I just heard this phrase this week, actually, which I thought was hilarious. What we're describing, and I guess this might even be common nomenclature that people understand. I don't know.
This is probably, you're probably about to say something that is like every day for anybody under 30 or something.
Have you ever heard this term gaslight before? And did you know 99% of the people don't know what it means, but they say it anyway?
They're just using the term.
Yeah. No, raw dogging. It's not what you think.
Oh, stop. But so here's my understanding of raw. Yes, I do. I have.
Okay. What is it? This is the first time I've ever heard of it.
Okay, so I heard it and I did see it through social media and I paid it absolutely zero attention. Like, I'm also aware that we are probably going to potentially turn ourselves off to like a very young demographic that thinks this is rad, but I didn't get it. The reference that I saw it was on an airplane. I mean, I think you're supposed to keep your eyes open and not blink or whatever, but like you have no phone, no anything. You don't have the screen on that's in front of you and you're just supposed to stare at you can't eat, you can't drink, you can't do anything. And you can't listen to music. You're just supposed to stare at the screen in front of you for the entirety of the flight.
So that's kind of how I understood it, but that's a little exaggerated. Really all it is go back in time 50 years and go on the flight like that. So you can eat and you don't have to stare, but you have no crutches. There is no like.
So on social, it's like guys with their eyes bleeding and they're just like.
They're probably misunderstanding the concept. The concept is just don't have all these digital crutches, don't have things to distract you. Just sit down and ride.
I would never raw dog a flight like that ever. And here's why.
I've done it. And I've actually done it like by accident, like a bunch of times where I just like, wait a minute, I have nothing.
Okay. I think I'm not sure who's misunderstanding the meaning and somebody can please tell us.
Drop a comment, Peter.
Yeah, but I know you haven't done this because when you say raw dog, I've had nothing, you close up your hoodie and go into your little cocoon and you sleep for 8 hours. You're not allowed to sleep. You're not allowed to do.
See, that part I don't know. Are you not allowed to sleep? Like you could always sleep on a flight.
No. But so okay, raw dogging, what you're saying is it's meant to be like go back in time and live how they live.
I think it's supposed to be 100% analog, which I guess technically you could read a book then.
Dude,
I think you're not supposed to read a book under the raw dog.
You're not.
Yeah.
But you're not supposed. Well, this would kind of be interesting. Like, what if people were getting weird? What if people were like, pick an era or pick like a decade or something like that, and you have to go back to that. So like if I said, 1310 or whatever it is.
I'd say no airplanes.
Yeah, no airplanes. Turn out, yeah. I'm not saying on a flight. I'm talking about in general. You just do a thing where like, okay, this week, the way that people do, like, I'm going to go on a 3-day fast, right? You're like, okay, do 3 days like it's the 1200s. And you're like, don't turn on electricity. Don't have running water. You can set it up beforehand, put a bunch of water in your bath, and maybe have a way to make fire. Like, this sounds like some shit that you'd be interested in. I don't know if they have classes in this.
There should be a thing.
Right? You're literally like, it was like medieval.
Would I use a gaslight?
But like, really, what if you're like, oh, people are like, I'm doing a cleanse. I'm doing a whatever. You're like, I'm doing medieval this week. What?
Yeah, I love this.
Yeah.
I love where this is going.
From Sunday to Monday to Sunday.
This Sunday.
I'm going medieval on you.
Sunday.
I think we may have talked about this before, but like, because everything is digitized, because we've created like maximum efficiencies, so we think everywhere, speed is a requirement. It's an expectation. And we very quickly have diluted relationships because quality time is kind of like there's no more time for quality time in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So what do we do does it even matter? Is that an important thing?
I mean, first you have to dissect. You have to say like, well, why has everything become digital? Obviously, it's because it's instant. People feel like they need information really, really quickly, and that's based on expectations because they get information really, really quickly. Like these things come up all the time. Like with kids where it sounds ridiculous to even say, but you get so used to the way things are in terms of having everything at your fingertips, having everything instant, that like last week I found myself trying to explain to the kids that when I was a kid, what was on the TV was on the TV. Like it's right now, it's happening right now. And I can switch to another channel, but there's a few things on, right? But over time you get to now I've got VHS and I guess I had VHS from the very beginning, but now I can pop in something whenever I want and I can do it. And then now it's going to be, I can record things and I can play all these things. And it'll just keep advancing to the point where like it begets itself in our psyche to essentially say, everything's at the tip of my fingertips. It's at the tip of my fingers. It's coming at me. And so it's just like a never ending thing, which is great. I'm a big technology person. And it does make it so that anything you do that is analog or that is like, when was the last time someone sent you a handwritten card, right? Like we do it all the time.
Yeah,
and it has
my mom will send me thank you cards. Like I'll take her to dinner and she'll send me a thank you card.
Yeah. My mom sends cards all the time. It's a generational thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, but the response that we get when we write handwritten cards is disproportionate to the effort that it takes. And whereas like what you would, not more than you would expect because it doesn't happen very often, right? As a result of that. But with so much, I mean, even like put it in the context of business. I think we've talked about this a little bit, but like we've got so many platforms. You got information coming at you all the time, and it's on your devices. So it's just so easy. So I think whether it's conscious or not, because something analog, something written, something handmade, something that's a gift, so like something that physically shows up whenever and takes this moment. If I broke it down, I think about the person spending the time to do whatever that was, and that it took a concerted effort. Like the amount of energy and time that it takes, even though drafting an email or typing something takes time as well, there's like something about the energy, you think of it differently, the energy that must have gone into sitting down, handwriting something, getting stationery out. It's subconscious, but like that's what makes me feel like this person put more time and energy into this.
Nowadays, it's even a phone call, you know?
Yeah.
Like, which that's not an invitation to call me.
He won't pick up.
That's not an invitation to call me, but it's a different level for sure. Like, we haven't really gone over this on the podcast, but my dad passed away.
Yes.
And during that time, I had people who checked in frequently. I had people that did not check in frequently. I had people that didn't check in at all. And of those, people I'd never expected to hear from called. Just a select few called. And that was interesting to me. Like,
you're like, I didn't answer. I didn't talk to them, but.
Well, it just.
Did you call back?
In some cases I answered, and in others I called back. And I don't know. It kind of was like, you could just have shot me a text, or even like how disconnected some, you know, I people I don't talk to every day. I'm like, maybe this person, like, I don't know. Do I reach out to them if they're going through something similar? I don't know, you know? It brought a lot to light in a way that I didn't think it would. Like, I didn't think that receiving a phone call would actually impact me that way, but it did. And
in a positive way.
In a positive way, yeah, in a positive way. Because to your point, it was a concerted effort to say, I'm going to carve out time to call Jay and to talk to him.
Well, I think not just that. We talked about this a little bit, but it's like during that time, there were some people that you would have expected to reach out and didn't reach out. It was going through your head a little bit. And like being a thoughtful person, you're thinking, I understand that it's a difficult topic and everybody thinks of it differently. Maybe they don't know what to say, which isn't an excuse, right? But like maybe they're not sure how to address this. So, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but like I would guess that if we know that that is a touchy thing or a difficult conversation to have, having it in person or as much in person as you can on a call versus just texting something is, that's going above and beyond also. It's kind of like they know that this could be a touchy thing. It could be emotional, whatever it is. And they're choosing to do that, whereas the easy way out would just be texting. So I've covered my base.
Yeah. And I'm also a big fan of the voice memos. I like a voice memo.
I know you are.
One of my, probably the longest friendship I've had in my entire life is my buddy Grant, who lives in Spain. He's lived in Spain for 10 years now. And him and I will voice memo each other all the time, just on WhatsApp. It's great. It feels like he's here. Like I hear his tone of voice. We're just catching up. And what's great is if we tried to find time to connect, it'd be impossible. It's like,
time. You mean like
to have the real time conversation. I mean, not impossible, but it's like
6 hours.
It's probably 8 or 9. Okay. Yeah. So it's like, we're going to, let's carve out time this Saturday at 1 p.m. and it'll be like 10 o'clock your time or whatever. It's like, okay, yeah, we could do that. Or we can just like shoot a voice memo and be like, hey, what are you reading? What are you watching? Like, catch me up on things. And you're getting the whole thing across and it feels great. But it's like a real connection.
Yeah. I love that.
And what are you laughing about over there, Chuckles?
Because your whole family, your sisters, Love that too. It's an O'Brien thing, right? The voice memos. But I have had funny situations, specifically with Annie, where like we've sent each other voice memos, and like it will keep going. Like, it's like voice memo, voice memo, voice memo, and after like 3 or 4 of them, you're like, this could have been a phone call, and it would have taken a quarter of the time.
Not with a Jekyll.
Yeah. Well, no, I guess I would keep talking, but I usually do end up calling her. Anyway. But like the Grant situation where it's like we couldn't link up for that. I should do that with my sister because our schedules are like challenging.
But anyway, I kind of digress a little bit. The whole point.
Well, no, we're making a case for technology is fucking helpful. Like it
technology
makes it
can be
easier.
helpful, and it can still kind of elevate some of those humanistic things that are important. You know, I would argue that because of the efficiencies and all these things, like people like, you know, say, oh yeah, I'm a really good multitasker and I have this and that. I would bet that the person doing business 50 years ago is getting way more done than even maybe you or I are today.
Yeah.
You come into the office, you do 1 to 3 things, and that's it. No distractions. By the end of the month, that person has probably accomplished way more.
For sure. I mean, I'm trying this year. One of my things is restricting it to 3 big things a day, whatever that is, and 3 focuses for the entire thing. But that's interesting the way you say that. So generationally, it's people who didn't grow up with all of these things. They still are wired. Like I'm a Zennial, or I don't know what it is, but like basically the last.
I thought you were a boomer.
God damn it. The last generation to kind of like I know what sort of adult life is, even though I was a teenager or whatever, without social media, without too much email. There was email, whatever, but like, and I also know this. So it's kind of like, you know, they say we sort of have an advantage of knowing best of both worlds and being able to kind of empathize with older and younger. But I don't know if this happens for you. I'm really close, you know, as you know, with my parents. We talk all the time, et cetera. A lot of it is text at this point, you know, like we're working, we're doing our things. So I will have had what would have been like, and you know, we both, especially my mom, right? We're talkers, right? We can talk. So we will have texted dozens of times in a day or 2 days or whatever it is. And then when I call and she picks up the phone, she'll be like, well, hey, stranger. Right? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to her, which I get too, it feels totally different. To her, it's kind of like, well, that was text. That's totally impersonal. And that's not, I don't have any of the, I don't know, like emotional or personal connective feeling that I do just from hearing your voice, which is like, you know, that's like you and Grant could text, but you feel totally different by hearing someone's voice, like some sort of, you're using a digital medium, but it's an analog type of thing.
That's interesting. Trying to think about that.
But you don't feel that way? Or does your mom not do that? Is she like, well,
my mom's like, you know, she's kind of blown away by where we've come with all this because she's like, everything's a text now and whatever. She's like, I talk to my mom on the phone every single day, you know, and I'm like, well, a lot of that is maybe technology and generational, but a lot of that too is being a woman versus a man. Like, you know,
could be. I mean, like,
men aren't calling other men just to chat, except Jeff Jekyll.
I like it. I do. And you know what? Maybe this wasn't the case 10 years ago. A lot of our friends do. A lot of our friends I talk to on the phone. They know you don't want to talk, but like,
yeah, that's interesting.
I don't know where we should probably do that research. I don't know if that's like at a certain age right now or a certain generation that just does not exist. I have no idea.
So my wife, Ashley, she travels a lot for work. And this is interesting because she'd be gone for like, you know, 4 days, 5 days or something. And we wouldn't talk once.
That's weird. That's not normal.
But to me, it didn't feel weird. And
it's also pre-kids. You will not do that.
Well, yeah. But like the reason why I pause on thinking, oh, it's so different when you hear someone's voice. I'm like, yeah, but you know, I always felt the other way because I'm like, I'm reading these text messages in her voice. So like, to me, it actually didn't feel that different. It's like the only thing that it did was it opened up this conversation of nothingness, of just like listening to each other breathe and like being on the phone about nothing. And I was like, and you know me, I hate talking on the phone, which is like, you know, for being such an analog kind of person. I mean, dude, when I was stranded in St. Lucia, like when I had COVID and I was in that hotel room for 10 nights by myself for Christmas,
oh my God,
Ash would call me and I'd be like, hey, I, you know, don't want to talk on the phone. She's like, you're doing nothing. Yeah. You literally are doing nothing. I'm like, I'm just raw dogging. I'm literally just looking out the window, doing nothing.
You're like, I'd rather do nothing.
I'd rather just do nothing than talk on the phone. Yeah.
I can't.
I don't know.
I can't feel you there. I can't empathize with that. But I think a lot of this boils down to So like we started by saying what's the reason why there's so much we're using so much? It's convenience. So what is the opposite of that? Inconvenience. So it's saying that like a record. Okay, you could do it with anything. So start to think about any of the things that we do that are analog, that are probably from the olden days, a little bit raw doggy. They're inconvenient, right? Like a record, we do it at the cabin all the time. You got to get up, you got to go get another record, you got to put it on. I'm like, hey, play that song, play the sixth track or whatever. You're like, you'll hear it when it gets to it, man. I don't know where it is on that record, right? There's no convenience to those things. And you're right, the word's romantic. Like there's something romantic about like, well, you just got to settle in and
you listen to the album the way it was intended to be listened to.
For sure. You know? What are some other things that are analog that we can, besides?
So like this concept that, of, have you ever heard of, we were the last free range kids?
Yes, 100%.
It's kind of a weird thing to realize because I guess I've seen it because, I have friends that have kids and I've got nieces and nephews, whatever. But like, because I don't yet have kids, I haven't really seen that. So to me, going outside to play and like playing with your neighbors, and
that still feels like you think that's what kids do today.
Right. Like I still feel like what do you mean that doesn't happen anymore?
Yeah.
So it's actually kind of sad to think that doesn't happen anymore. But what I heard about, the way this was described earlier this week in a podcast I was listening to was really interesting because they're saying, well, it's actually, it's harmful for a lot of reasons. A lot of the obvious reasons, like, oh, you're in front of a computer screen, you're hiding behind social media. People are obviously dickheads on YouTube and comments and all that stuff because they have no one to answer to. It's all digital and behind a screen, whatever. But the way it was put was actually pretty interesting. It's like, well, no, back then, again, obviously, you've got to create your own fun. You have to just be creative. You have to think of things or whatever. But
and you were bored. Boredom existed, and then that would give you. It's kind of like when you restrict options, it creates creativity.
But what it also did was, I've got to convince you to do the thing I want to do. I've got to convince you that we should go play like water guns, or that we should build a lemonade stand.
Let me tell you, it's not going to be hard to convince me of that.
Yeah.
But you mean like, can Jay come out and play?
Well, yeah, okay, so no, not like that. I mean, like, whatever we do that day, maybe we both want to do the exact same thing, but like one of us has an idea and you have to convince the other person.
Yeah.
And then after we do that, then we're going to do my thing and whatever. And we're out all day and you have this interpersonal relationship, like this human connection, face to face, not afraid of rejection.
Yep.
You're a natural born salesman because you had to be from a very young age.
Talking people into doing things. Here's what I want to do. You're making your case.
Yes. And I don't know if you did this in elementary school, but like, did you ever go door to door and sell wrapping paper or magazines?
Yes.
Yeah. So did I.
To get the Weeples? Or what were those? Wapple Weeples?
I don't know. But could you imagine like Crosby doing that?
No, but people have done that in our neighborhoods. They're selling chocolate bars, but I don't think it happens very often. Now it's just all digital.
And they're probably with their parent.
Yes.
Which is a good thing for safety, I guess. But like, I wasn't with my parents. Just did that on my own.
There's going to be so much stuff. I can't wait. I hope and expect that we're still doing this in like years and years when your kid gets old enough to, because you're going to start seeing all this shit and you're going to be like, what? Like, Crosby was invited to her first sleepover a few days ago.
Yeah.
I know that people are more stringent about this now, that people are more aware of bad things that happen or whatever it is. But like, this is a hot topic in the Jekyll household about like, do you go to a sleepover? Do you stay over? Do you go pick up your kid? What age is it okay? Like, what, you never know who's like all of these things where we're like, we are, this I guess is maybe a further topic, but like where we are insulating children potentially too much, but you got to be careful. So like the all of what you're talking about, you will see in real time. I get that you don't have like a example right in front of your face right now, but like, yeah, kids don't. I don't remember what age I did, and it was different because we lived on a cul-de-sac and all this kind of stuff. But like, kids don't just go out and play. Not only that, like buses where we are don't exist. So you're not even like sending your kid off to kind of do their own thing and be without parents with their friends outside of school hours at all. Like at your house, yeah, they still do that. Like I know when Crosby has play dates, she's got to make her case for like why they should play with her American Girl dolls instead of doing this thing in the backyard or whatever it is. But it's not like they're not making their own days, like there's, and they're not out there. I mean, I guess I don't know. That all changes, I guess, in junior high because I see these kids ripping around the neighborhood in e-bikes and trying to kill
Well,
themselves.
I understand a lot of that from the safety perspective for sure. Even the sleepover thing, right? Totally get that. And I mean, when we were kids, like maybe that stuff I'm sure was happening on some level. We didn't hear about it. It wasn't like
No, I talked to my mom about this the other day. Like, she's like, that wasn't a thing. Ash was like, you got to, do they have a gun in the house? Where is it kept? Is it whatever? My mom's
Yeah,
like,
totally.
My mom literally
Totally.
was like, you and your sister went to dozens, maybe 100 plus sleepovers. She goes, I never thought about that once.
Sure. And same here too. And maybe some of those like gnarly things were happening that we didn't know about or whatever. Like, from a safety perspective, I 100% understand it. I think it's more of like, what about the stuff that's not like that? Like going outside and playing, like,
Sure.
Like the things that are just more analog just because they are. Like,
So I have a plan. I'm saying it now. I'll put it out there and then try to hold me to it. But I keep saying that, like, when, let's say Crosby's a junior high, when our kids get to be junior high, high school, whatever, and their friends come over to our house, and we're not at that, like, but when they're older and they've got phones, she doesn't have a phone. She's not going to probably have a phone. I'm saying right now until she basically drives, or she won't have social media. I don't know. We'll see. I want to be the house where you come to our house and I have like a locker for phones. Like I have a thing that shuts. It's got a passcode, or only I know it, or Ash knows, or whatever. The kids come in, they put their phones in there. And then while you're here, you look each other in the face, you talk to each other. You're not messaging friends that aren't with you, that are like out, whatever, someone else's house. Like,
what happens if the parents need to get a hold of the kid?
so, I mean, we'd have access to those things, but maybe they'd know. Like, I don't know. I actually had this idea once. It was like, if you wanted to do this, what if there was something where all those phones could forward to the parent of the house or something like that? You'd have like some sort of, so someone go build that.
Mm-hmm.
But the idea is, what if you created a situation, it's forced raw dogging.
Yeah, I love it.
Right?
I mean, you couldn't tell that to all the friends' families,
No,
but
that sounds weird. Like, well, here's what raw dogging is. Here's what Jay thinks it is. Here's what I think it is. They're not staring at a computer screen or at a seat back
so
with their
the
eyes
kids
bleeding.
are in danger. No, one's in danger.
They're just raw dogging in my house. So I'm saying I want to do that, and what you're risking. All those friends think your house sucks. They don't like going to Crosby's or Wilder's house because their dad takes their phones or whatever. But I see this all, like, you go to restaurants, whatever, you see like 4 teenage kids that are all sitting around the table together, and they're literally all just like this. Like,
and by the way, that's a perfect example. It's not just kids. If you go look at like our wives going to brunch with a group of girls, they're all on that fucking phone, dude. Like if I'm at a resort or something at the pool and I look and I literally will see, this is the worst. You see like a table people and every single one of them takes their phone out when like the food comes, or like champagne comes, or when it's time to toast each other. Like you're supposed to, when people say, "Oh, look me in the eye," it's like, dude, you're not supposed to look the phone in the eye. Like, just put the fucking phone down. Just sit here and enjoy your time. Who gives a shit about documenting any of this? Nobody cares about your life. Like nobody.
Wow, is that the answer to who cares?
Nobody cares, dude. Like, no one cares. Like, no matter how good it is, bad it is, at the end of the day, people just fucking care about themselves. Like, and that's why everyone's on their phone, because they want to be like, look at the me story.
They want the recognition. So, I mean, flip side, there's huge benefits to social media. There's huge benefits to what they're doing. I do believe that if you care about a person, same reason, like, we hope that people care about some of our personal anecdotes that we're saying here, because hopefully we're making it helpful and interesting and whatnot. So it has its place, right? But I think that if somebody can learn something from this mess that we've just talked through.
Yeah, there's a reason for this topic.
What we can learn is, if you can try to use digital for efficiency and use analog for meaning, that's a win.
I think in general, draw the parallels in your own life. I'm sure anyone listening to this, like Barbara and Peter, are probably,
this is like 7 in. I think we've got
at least 4 subscribers at this point. I know it doesn't say 4 at the bottom of this video, but they watch. They're voyeurs.
4,000.
But it's to like challenge yourself. How do you inject some sort of analog component into your brand, into your business, into your friendships, into your life at home? What are you doing for your husband or wife that feels analog? What do you do for quality time? Do you have boundaries at night where you spend quality time and don't think about work with your spouse? things like that.
I know I was really good last year. I got bad this year. But so, yes, takeaways. Maybe what you could do this week is take a normal communication method that you have. Let's say that it's email or it's text or it's Slack or it's whatever. It could be at work, could be at home, could be whatever. And mix it up. Like change up something that you would otherwise do in an email or whatever and write a card, handwritten card, send it off. Or something that would otherwise be a text and make it a phone call. See how that feels. Maybe try voice memos. It's weird because that is like you're literally, it's about as digital or it's about as analog as a digital communication can be.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
What?
I'm going to open an inconvenience store. And you're going to like need to like pick the lock to try and get in there.
Is this something?
And everything's going to be fucked up.
There's no way.
Nothing is going to be organized or laser lined on the shelves. You have to pay in cash with exact change.
There is no way you just made up the term inconvenience store.
I did when you were talking about convenience.
It has to be something that's really good.
All right, let's open an inconvenience store.
Inconvenience store. But like, there's no intention to make money. Like, this literally has to fail.
Yeah, no, it has to, for sure.
Maybe it'd be so novel that people would be like, you've been to the inconvenience store?
Well, I got to stop by the inconvenience store. Oh, you're going to be there for 20 minutes. All right. Well,
that's great.
Hopefully this was helpful.
Yeah. Hope you learned something.
But you know what would be great? Because we keep coming up with these topics. If anyone actually is absorbing any of this content, maybe they've watched 2 seconds of it, maybe a minute, maybe the whole thing. Drop a comment. What do you want to talk about? Well, I mean, let's chat.
Yes.
Let's open it up. Let's engage. Let's interact.
And also, I watch a lot of YouTube. It's my primary source of visual entertainment. Everybody at some point in the middle of the thing reminds people to please like and subscribe. I know we goofed it in the beginning.
It's a little bit of a currency, that you can request.
It is, but it gives us information. Like, we don't know that yet, but it gives us information about like, what are you liking? What are you not liking? And subscribing helps us continue to do the stuff that we're doing here.
Yeah. And I'd say one more thing on that topic is like, we've all done it. You watch videos that are helpful, not helpful, you're supporting whatever, and then you don't engage with it at all. And maybe that's fine if we've got like, 100,000 subscribers or whatever. Like, you're just a drop in the bucket. But at this stage in the game, it actually does help tell us something.
For sure.
It's actually a metric that will help give us feedback on some level.
It's the equivalent.
And you could also destroy us in the comments and say all kinds of fucked up things.
Oh, yeah, have fun. We'll read those aloud. It'll be great. But yeah, it's true. It's the same way we always talk about like the difference between working in a massive company and working in a startup. Like it sounds ridiculous, but in the early days, people who were the first ones to watch and give suggestions and say this is helpful, this isn't, or we love to learn stuff, like you will actually be a part of shaping what the hell this turns into.
Yes.
Right? Like we don't have preconceived notions. We think that we know some stuff that can help people, but we don't know exactly what those things might be or what they could be. So help us out. What you want to learn, what you want to hear, what you want to talk about.
Who cares?
Who cares? A podcast for those who do.